At Sierra, discover great deals on top brand workout gear, like high-quality walking shoes, which might lead to another discovery.
40,000 steps, baby. Who's on top now, Karen?
You've taken the office step challenge a step too far. Don't worry, though. Sierra also has yoga gear. It might be a good place to find your zen. Discover top brands at unexpectedly low prices. Sierra, let's get moving.
Now's a good time to remember where tequila's story truly began. In 1795, Cuervo invented tequila.
Cuervo.
What are you doing here?
Cuervo. Anytime someone says Cuervo, I show up.
Well, I do know that to be true, but even during ad reads, like...
Cuervo.
I think you could lay out, especially for one of our great partners.
Sweet, delicious Cuervo.
Since then, Cuervo has stayed true to its roots. The same family, the same land, the same passion.
Cuervo.
So, enjoy the tequila that started it all. Cuervo.
Cuervo.
The tequila that invented tequila. Proximo. Cuervo.com. Please drink responsibly.
Cuervo. Shadow Show.
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 Shadowing it.
Shadowing it.
Just because today is an off day for most folks around the country from their workplace doesn't mean we took the day off. Here at the Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz, we are always there for you, particularly on Mondays. And we've got a full show coming at you that's full of New York Knicks content. Why they had me, Jeremy, do this intro, considering this is Knicks content, I have no idea. Where's Stugotz? I don't know. But we have a full day of shows coming at you that we've specially curated because it's been over a year since we started WFAT, and the Knicks have dominated our show in a way that is overwhelming and, to be quite frank, very surprising. When I was hired here, I didn't expect this much Knicks talk. But this local hour is actually the very first time that we ever referenced WFAT as Stugotz was flirting with WFAN. This is coming off a Game 6 loss in the first round of last year's playoffs for the Knicks. Tyrese Maxey dominated for the Philadelphia 76ers. You're going to hear some really funny responses to that, considering the context here a year later. I really enjoyed listening back to this episode. I hope you do too, and I will explain what the Big Suey Hour 1 and Hour 2 are for you as you get to them. But for now, enjoy the origin story of WFAT.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast.
Today's episode is sponsored by DraftKings. Stay tuned because you'll hear more about DraftKings and all it has to offer throughout the show. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Stugotz is a star, and he has put his imprint on everything we do around here. And a lot of people, Stugotz, have noticed Billy yesterday yelling from the back row saying, did we become a New York show? When and how did we become a New York show? And a lot of you have noticed, and because there's so many conspiracy theories out there, you are right, conspiracy theorists, on this one. Stugotz did try to get that job at WFAN as program director so he could have all the power and control and fire everybody and run the world. But they weren't paying enough, and they didn't have enough to lure him there. So he's decided to make us something that feels like WFAN, WDAN, WFAT. WFAT is
WFAT, I like that.
What we're going to go with is WFAT is what we're doing. And Stugotz is a little bit broken today, and this one hurts for a number of reasons, but because he just started caring again.
Yeah.
Last
night.
He just gave them his heart moments ago this season because he doesn't trust them for understandable reasons. And if you did not see the end of that game, the big game of basketball last night, even his Milwaukee wins without two guys, that Orlando-Cleveland series,
you could tell me anything, and I will believe you in terms of what happened in last night's game. Tell me anything, I'll believe it. Go ahead.
In the Orlando-Cleveland game?
Yeah. Tell me anything.
No, Cleveland won by 1 point.
I believe you.
Yes, but I could say anything. Nobody's watching that series because at the same time, and I think we can say this, the Sixers and the Knicks are basically equal in this condition. If I make Embiid healthier, the Sixers would be better. But the Knicks got one game at the end that they stole. Now the Sixers steal this game in a weird fashion at the end. But what Maxey did to bail Embiid out, what Maxey did to save the season of the Philadelphia 76ers, That is what basketball players live for, to play in that building and do that to that crowd where you're feeling so confident that you're pulling up from the logo in front of Mitchell Robinson. You're 35 feet from the basket to tie the game.
I mean, Brunson just had that same exact feeling at Philadelphia. Like, players live for that. They love that. Doing it on the road, shutting the crowd up.
I have never been so confident at anything as Maxey was taking that last shot in regulation, saying, my season's on the line. I don't care who else is out here. I don't care how far I am from the basket. I'm going to steal New York's heart from in here. And then let's check in here with the celebrity reaction, because this was undisputably funny, where you've got a number of celebrities who are courtside, and they are just broken.
With about 90 seconds to go, and for good reason, a celebration broke out at Madison Square Garden. Because everyone thought we were going to win the game and advance on to the playoffs, advance on to the second round. And so I understand that some people are embarrassed today because they were over-celebrating, but I was doing the same thing. I was celebrating as well.
Look, we've been talking about Knicks fans celebrating. There's Jon Stewart.
Enough of him.
That is the face right there of, you would think that America over the last 10 years, just the things happening in America did that to Jon Stewart's face, but only the Knicks can do that to
It's
Jon
just what
Stewart's
Bill
face.
Simmons looked like last year. It's exactly the same face. It's uncanny.
There is another picture that is great that I noticed one thing and not the other in it. Tracy Morgan, it's not a great picture, and it's got a lot of crud in it, but Tracy Morgan is shooting a middle finger at Maxey as he walks off the court. But what I noticed there is Ben Stiller next to Tracy Morgan. The amount of rage on Ben Stiller's face. I don't know if you guys, did any of you guys see Mystery Men?
Oh, it's a classic.
Yes.
Sure.
Okay, Mystery Men, I should tell the group that doesn't know what this movie is. It's a movie about superheroes that were kind of useless and incredibly human, but they had superpowers that were useless. And Ben Stiller's superpower was he was Mr. Furious. All he would do is get enraged, but he couldn't do anything with the rage other than get mad.
Would he grind his teeth?
He looked like that. He looked like Mr. Furious there, and a superhero with no powers.
Is Tracy Morgan wearing official uniform shorts in this picture? I'm 95% sure that he is.
Definitely is.
I think he is, yeah.
Those are old school Knicks basketball shorts, right? Those are 90s Knicks basketball
Those are
shorts?
issued uniform shorts that he got to wear to the game.
Just in case they need him to check into the game.
You
never know.
The middle finger. How good did Maxey have to feel? You walk past those celebrities and you've enraged them. Look at Ben Stiller's face.
Yeah, he's still down 3-2, Maxey.
But
that felt good for him last night. It did. It had to feel good for Maxey to do it in that building. It's not Embiid. It's Maxey winning Embiid a game. It's Maxey keeping their season alive at Madison Square Garden. That had to feel good. Mitchell Robinson is the problem, though. Before we start celebrating Therese Maxey, Mitchell Robinson, if you're listening, if you're watching, you owe me a game. You owe me a game. You owe me a series. You better come through in Game 6 or Game 7. You change the math. The Knicks are up 6. Maxey hits that 3. Let him hit the 3. Why are we fouling? Why are we letting Philly make it a 2-point game? Then Hart comes down. He makes 1 of 2. It's a 3-point game. Maxey hits the 3 from half court. If there's no foul by Mitchell Robinson, it's a 4-point game, Dan, and Maxey's 3 doesn't matter, and he doesn't have that moment. Mitchell Robinson, listen to me, and listen to me clearly. You owe me one. You owe Knicks fans one. You owe us a game. You owe us a series. Make up for it in Game 6.
I thought he was pretty good last night.
He was great right up until that moment.
They did. I mean, both teams were just so sloppy turning the ball over all night. The Knicks started the game. I texted Taylor when the Knicks, I think they started out 0 for 8 shooting, and I texted Taylor and I was like, this is your fault, buddy.
Right.
This is your fault. They looked so bad to start that game.
Didn't they have 0 or 2 points 6 minutes into the first quarter or something?
Yeah.
So wasn't the game 4-0 7 minutes in?
Pretty much.
Were we all heckling Taylor? Because I was texting him just laughing face emojis.
Yeah, I think we were actually. Who else was heckling?
I felt the need need to back
heckled
away.
Taylor last night.
Not my place anymore.
The fans certainly were.
How much do you think all the Knicks celebrities sitting courtside, if we would have pooled together some money, that they would have all just been willing to pay for a different result? They're all rich people. We could have probably got like
there's no amount of money they wouldn't pay, Chris. Like
Ben Stiller would have paid $3 million for a different
more.
result.
Ben Stiller would have paid $5 million. Ben Stiller would have said, "I will never be in a movie again as long as we win this game."
I think he goes 6. Who's saying 7? Anyone say 7?
7.
We got a 7. We got a 7. No, we got $8 million.
Honestly,
I'll say 8. I'll say 8.
8. Yeah, we got an $8 million back here. Jeremy, anyone got 9?
Right here, I got it.
Roy's got $9 million for Ben Stiller. Knicks win. Knicks win.
Tracy Morgan got super rich by getting hit by a truck, huh?
Yeah.
Well, he was super rich before.
Well, no. When he jokes about wanting to go out and he puts a lawn chair next to the expressway because he wants an Amazon truck to hit him next because he got so paid by a Walmart truck.
$90 million he got from Walmart.
Wow.
He did get pretty rich, yeah.
That's a lot of money.
$10 million Tracy Morgan.
Makes you wonder.
He hasn't had to do a lot of work since then.
Well, no, when you got $90 million, you can kind of just do things on your own.
And
Actually, he had a show like on TBS or something, right? Called The Last OG. Is that what the show was called?
Yeah, that was it, yeah.
Pretty good show. And I think that was post-truck.
But what are you wondering? If you should get hit by a truck?
It's a little dangerous to get from our parking to the building now. And I have thought, one false step here and I could be set for life.
Stu, when you say Mitchell Robinson owes you a game, it sounds like you're saying you want to play him one-on-one.
Well, it also sounded like you were calling him Menstrual Robinson.
Well, I wasn't, though. I wasn't, though, Dan. I was trying to get to Mitchell. I stumbled at the Mitch.
John Cooper over here.
Coop.
I'm just saying that's what it sounded like. Mitchell Robinson, at the end, Maxey made that shot over him, Stugotz. And as I'm watching 2 of the games in this series, I have seen heartbreaking endings on both sides that scar fan bases 10 years later. Mm-hmm. This series has had 2 endings so disorienting and crazed in terms of how it makes you feel the balance of the series is going.
Yep.
To have the cruelty, Stugotz, because you know how much I love the history that gets baked into fan bases. This century, the New York Knicks have been irrelevant. That fan base, generations now, are starved for winning basketball so they can go back to telling you that last night in the Garden, those kinds of night, those are the best in basketball when that stuff happens in the Garden. This is the reverse of many years ago, Larry Johnson having a 4-point play where he was fouled against the Pacers, and it's the loudest sound I've ever seen or heard around Madison Square Garden. People remember Larry Johnson in the street now for just giving them that moment. This is the reverse of that last night. This is this punching you in the face. You're on the wrong end of, wait a minute, we were going to have our first important playoff series. Did you see how we celebrated when we won 1 against LeBron? 1 game down 3-0.
Right.
Confetti from the ceilings. Did you see how our fan base celebrated outside of Madison Square Garden last year when they were fighting it out with Trae Young and winning a game here and there? Did you see the lunacy where these New York fans have been waiting 25 years to get this kind of loud, Stugotz, and they were ready to pour into the streets last night, and Maxey took it from them.
Dan, for the first time since I think the 90s, I looked at the Pacers roster just to see how we match up against them. I mean,
that's the part about it that's cruel. It can happen in game 2. It can happen in game 3. It can happen in game 4. But when it happens, when they're this close to feeling like this is over, we no longer have to fear Maxey. Oh, no, now we have to fear him more.
It's also the kind of pain that I think Knicks fans weren't expecting as much from this team. Like, Knicks fans are so conditioned to expect the worst and pain and horror at any given moment. And this team with Brunson, where Brunson actually comes through, they feel like there's some sense of, okay, like, we're up 6, even with 4 more points, that like we're still up 2, and then it just disintegrates, and it was like it just like sucked the air out of that entire place.
I don't know if Knicks fans are as superstitious as I am, but I have reason to believe that Taylor, not just by being in the building, cursed this, because I have inside info that he was requesting a prop cigar before the game
Wow.
to be able to celebrate when the Knicks won last night.
What does that mean? What is a prop cigar?
Not to have an actual cigar to smoke in the arena,
Right.
but to have a prop cigar.
He also
But you explained to security, like, no, this is a prop cigar. Because
I
Game
don't know
Time
what to
sent
tell
me
you.
Here.
He wanted a cigar so he could celebrate inside the Madison Square Garden. Look, I can't get mad at Taylor.
Message came in at 8 p.m.
We were all celebrating. I looked up the Pacers roster. I mean, we were all celebrating.
How'd that stack up against? Did you look up your roster?
Dale Davis, no longer a Pacer. I mean, it's the last time I looked.
Stu, what'd you see on there?
Yeah.
I saw Halliburton.
Nice.
No Rick Smits.
No, I didn't see the dunking Dutchman.
Taylor told me he's 0-5 career at Knicks playoff games. If you're 0-4,
stay away.
Why did he request to go to this game?
Stay
This
away.
is on him a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, because he went for free. All he had to do was sit down for a
that's
day.
true. Yeah.
If I'm 0-4, I'm just like, I don't want to do this to my team.
If you're a Knicks fan, you're conditioned to think this is going to end badly. That the Sixers are going to blow them out in Game 6, and then they'll go to Madison Square Garden for a Game 7. It will be a close game, and Embiid or Maxey or someone will limp through the entire game. And then all of a sudden, they'll be healthy in the fourth quarter and hit a big shot and we'll lose. That's how it's going to end. If you're a Knicks fan, that's how you're conditioned to think. This series is over.
But
You are
I'm all over the place.
You're furious, and you're already bobbing emotionally. I don't believe, though, that that's how Knicks fans feel. I have never heard this kind of confidence from the Knicks fans in the last 15 years that they have going into the love of this team, going into how they feel about the things that Brunson is. Stugotz, you know.
He's great.
No, but Stugotz, this part, the part I'm about to tell you, where people get their regional sports identity and are made to feel like losers by their franchise who get furious at James Dolan. It's one thing to have a team that you kind of like because they win. But this team, whose roster does not merit a 2 seed in the East. The roster.
No.
This team that is viewed as gritty and underdog, and how can you not love these guys? Look at what they're doing to the stars, Embiid and Maxey. They're doing it with grit because Thibodeau's tough and Jalen Brunson's undersized. When you feel like a team represents you personality-wise as an underdog and you latch on to, I like the way this team represents me and my city, it hurts when you care like that.
Mm-hmm.
When you get into hope and then it gets betrayed.
Yes.
Your hope gets betrayed. And the Knicks fan base has been broken over the years by this. And they're daring to hope again because Hartenstein has lured them in with his offensive rebounds. And Brunson's too small. And my God, Josh Hart has no business being that physical at 210 pounds. I love my little team.
I'm kind of understanding now why everyone's hated the Heat for so long, because Heat fans have always been overly confident, and I've gotten a taste the last week of Knicks fans being that way.
Yeah.
And it's fun to watch that lose. This is fun.
Right.
I'm enjoying this.
But Dan is saying they're going to be confident, just as confident, headed into Game 6 at Philadelphia. Is that what you're thinking?
I think that Knicks fans believe in what this team represents more than they have in the past because of how they're identifying with this little team can do it against anybody. We're against the odds. It's us against the world. Nobody believes in us. And they're just forgetting all of the previous heartbreak to give. This is the person who keeps getting cheated on by a partner and keeps going into the relationship trusting, daring to hope again that this is the one. This is the team they could give their heart to.
Lehman just texted me and said Dan spitting. He was really sad last night. It was
it's crushing.
It was brutal.
I cannot tell you how much it hurts to give your heart over to a team, but worse still when you know better than to do it.
I'm a Notre Dame fan. I do actually know what that's like.
Stugotz is I mind Stugotz for so much good shit the first 5 years of this show of him loving the Knicks and being able to make fun of him, and he's shut up for 15 years on them.
Hey, listeners, listen up, because I know that approaching the summer, you're probably as busy as I am, but also as desperate as I am to find some healthy meals that you can fit into those busy windows. Well, it's time to make this the best summer yet with nutritious 2-minute meals from Factor. Eating well has never been this easy. Just heat up and enjoy. giving you more time to do what you want. Get outside instead of prepping and cooking indoors. Factor Meals arrives fresh and ready to eat. It's perfect for any active lifestyle because with 45 weekly menu options, you can pick gourmet meals that fit your goals. Choose from Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, Keto, and more. In my most recent meals, I had the honey mustard chicken, I had that garlic herb salmon, and every side, every part of this meal was delicious. Honestly, at the end of it, I was just left wanting more because Factor's meals are that fresh, that delicious, and that nutritious. So get started at factormeals.com/Dan50off and use code Dan50off to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. That's code Dan50off at factormeals.com/Dan50off for 50% off plus free shipping.
Dan Le Batard.
It's a 3. The crowd goes into a delusion. Winning in the playoffs, not an illusion. It's a heat check, he's on fire.
Stugotz.
Carry us, Jalen Brunson. Comes up clutch, that's why we won. New York knows you are the best. Not the joke no more.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
Knicks fans, though, like, it is such a broken existence. You're saying, Dan, that you think that they're still confident going in to Game 6. I feel like last night shook it, right, Stu?
The second Maxey hit that shot, even though the Knicks scored the first 5 points in overtime. Unbelievable.
Video, can you guys just
so
find
many
me?
chances to win that game.
You guys tell me. Video, there's plenty of this all over the internet. Find me some good stuff and be careful because some things get said that shouldn't be said. Knicks fans in the street, how they behave outside of Madison Square Garden after a single playoff victory. Never mind with championship hopes, Stugotz, because nobody in the country thinks the Knicks have any championship hopes.
Right.
Only New York thinks that. There is no one else. I told you the betting odds before the playoffs started. You could have gotten a better bet on the Warriors, on the Heat. The bottom of the play-ins had better odds to win the championship than the Knicks. But Knicks fans are loud and dying to be hopeful, dying to remember that feeling from 1999 when you did it to other teams and you made Pat Riley, the guy who betrayed you, Pat Riley, that took all that stuff to Miami. You made him cry at his desk, and Alonzo Mourning had to come in the room and tell him to go talk to his broken team. Go do your bleeping job, Pat.
Yep.
You did that to him with a bounce, and it's the last time the team mattered like that. They've been dying for that in New York for 25 years.
I can't help but admire Knicks fans in some sick way. It might be because I'm married to one, but like the ability to still believe,
to brush it off,
to not even brush it off, just like to care so much. Like my husband can't even talk about these games. Like before the games, he's like, I can't talk about what could happen here. I actually, like when they were going to be the 2 seed, I was like, oh my god, like they might be the 2 seed, and he was like, I actually can't talk about it.
Right.
And I was like, oh,
not allowed to.
It's like that bad.
Right.
But I also, there's something really admirable to me about erupting when your team wins one game, like caring so much, like going so hard, even in Philly. Philly fans didn't show up, like Knicks fans showed up, and to be that broken and still care and still give it your all and celebrate when you've almost won
Let me
a
explain
game.
this.
Almost.
Let me explain this to everybody. Knicks fans are the best, and Knicks fans are the worst.
Yep.
They're what you want a fan base to care like if you're someone who wants to steal their money as a business person. It's what you want them to be in the streets. This city gives itself over to that team. They call it the world's most famous arena. They say all the free agents want to play there, even though none of them do.
Ever.
They think it's the biggest sound that can be made because they're still talking about Willis Reed in the 70s.
Yeah.
They're still talking about what that franchise was. You remember what Granddaddy said about the Knicks? And since then, they've been a punchline. They had the Pat Riley years. They had the years where the most relevant thing about them was playing against Pat Riley, beating Pat Riley. And then for 20 years, it's been quiet until they win a playoff game. And then they roll right into the street, and they are the best, and they are the worst.
Mm-hmm. That's why the phones keep ringing at WFAN.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That is correct.
Yep.
Have we gotten the imaging that we need to become WFAT? I'm stunned that you chose that over WDAN. WFAT.
Wow, the Dan.
We are.
WSTU.
Go sit in the penalty box.
What?
Me?
Wow.
Who else would it be? Who else would I
just got
There's
here.
always a
That's
chance
wrong.
it's
Justice
me.
for Charlotte.
Wow.
There is always.
It's good to check because there's always a chance that it's me or Jeremy.
That it's you.
Yeah.
Listen, she's been penalized enough this morning. She saw me shirtless.
Jeremy did breathe, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Why were you shirtless?
It's a good question, Jessica. I
Smoking
appreciate
shirt.
you asking it, even though we addressed it earlier in the show.
Yeah.
He was in the garage. This is weird. Who were you saying hello to shirtless that Charlotte overheard your gravelly voice from nearby?
I was changing my shirt. It had some stains on it. It smelled, and so I had a second shirt. I can't remember who came before Charlotte, to be quite honest with you, but I did belch out, "Hey!" Shirtless.
So, did you have a clean shirt on when you left your house and
I
then
did.
it got dirty, or you just were?
I'm smelling this from a mile away. This is a daily thing. You bring a
do.
you wear a shirt in the car, smoke on the way, and then
Right.
you're like, let me get rid of the smoking shirt.
Is it
and
the
then-
same shirt every day?
No, it's not the same shirt. To be honest, this morning I put on the shirt that's in my car right now. It felt a little snug.
Wait.
And so I said, you know what? I'm going to grab a comfortable sweatshirt. I know this one fits. I know it fits well. It doesn't matter how much weight I gain. The thing always fits.
So you're not wearing a shirt?
Well, no, I'm wearing a sweatshirt. And I started off the day with a black hoodie, and I changed it to the green hoodie.
Do you never wear shirts under your hoodies?
Never.
Really?
So now you're shirtless in the garage now. You're smoking. So now your skin smells like
I did not have a cigarette while I was shirtless, Roy. It was
I feel
before
like
and after.
we're doing a Costanza thing where you have to take the shirt off before you go to the bathroom, but you're having a smoke.
It was snug. I had a couple of heaters on the way in. I had the green sweatshirt, which is very comfortable on me. Feels nice on my skin. Very soft on my skin.
I'm so confused.
And so I changed.
You don't wear shirts under your hoodies ever?
No. It's a sweatshirt.
My theory is that he accidentally was still wearing the same clothes as yesterday and then thought someone would notice, so he put a different shirt on. But
Oh, we've all noticed, but we don't even have to say anything anymore.
Am I the only one that wears shirts under hoodies?
Of course
No,
I do.
of course
Why
not.
would you do that?
No, I think everybody does.
I'm wearing one right now.
What?
I think you're
It's 84 degrees outside.
Put it
So
on.
why wear a hoodie?
Well, because it's cold in here.
Put it on the poll, please.
And I'm fat.
At Lebatard Show, WFAT, where you get all your calories and information. Put on the poll, please, at Lebatard Show. Do you wear a shirt under your hoodie? I thought everyone did that.
Less layers, man.
I have, but I do have a lot of questions. I really do, because
I'm here for you.
I mean, you're a professional broadcaster who's had some success. I
Yeah,
mean, rummaging around in your
Hall of
car
Famer,
like
man.
someone who doesn't have a home to get dressed for work. Like,
Dan wouldn't understand this. He's busy running a content circus. But if you're actually running a business, then you know. Hiring the right people isn't just important, it's everything. And that's why LinkedIn Jobs is an absolute game changer for small business owners. You're juggling payroll, logistics, maybe even mopping the floors before you open. You don't have time for flaky resumes, ghosted interviews, or job boards that feel like a black hole. When it's time to hire, you need a partner who grinds just like you. LinkedIn? They don't sleep. You clock out, they clock in. They'll help you write the job post quickly and clearly. Promote it, you'll get 3 times more qualified applicants. Not a guess, real data. And once it's live, LinkedIn helps you amplify it by sharing it with your network. You can even add that hashtag hiring frame to your profile, which doubles the number of qualified candidates you're likely to see. This is built for business owners who care about getting it right. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/DLS. That's linkedin.com/DLS to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. Hey everybody, it's Mike Ryan, and the boys of summer are already humming. They fixed the sport of baseball, everybody, so go out to a ball game. Sometimes tickets are harder to find, sometimes you want a better deal than what's out there. Well, Game Time is the place to check for Major League Baseball tickets. And now Game Time makes getting tickets even faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to first pitch. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets. You may be asking yourself, Mike, what does last-minute deals even mean? It means you can save up to 60% off buying last-minute tickets for sports, concerts, comedy, and theater, the whole gamut. Plus, you get all-in pricing. Toggling this feature shows you the total upfront with no surprise fees at checkout. I know how much people hate that. I've been there. Hated it. Don't have to deal with it at Game Time. That's what makes it my favorite app in the marketplace. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code Dan for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code DAN for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.
Dan Le Batard.
Sub 500 seasons, it's been lonely. Now the best players on our side. Been losing and losing for much too long. But now we're back with New York pride.
Stugotz.
Jalen, you've got us on our feet, Jalen. We're gonna win the East, Jalen. Without Randall, we're still doing fine.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
Guys, I don't know what to do with this. You guys really need to help me because I've got Stugotz in a state of disrepair. You're married to somebody for 20 years. You can feel sort of the daily rhythms of life, of how you do things. I haven't seen this particular thing on my friend in a long time, and he's muttering under his breath. Okay, and the last 3 years have been hard for a number of different reasons, but I hear him muttering under his breath. They're going to be getting calls all day today.
Oh, yeah.
Sal's going to do a 12 share.
At least.
Nobody in New York.
He should be embarrassed if he does a 12 share today.
Nobody in New York has to do their job today. You just open the phone lines and let the acid spill into your lives. And he rubs that sports radio on his nipples and he misses it.
The opening monologue today, do away with it. Just give out the phone number, take calls for the entire show. Mail it in. Mail it in and get a 25 share in New York City. I haven't felt this alive since Joe Mauer made it to the Hall of Fame. I mean,
I would love for Stugotz behind me to show you what the program director meeting would have looked like when he started his sports lineups day and just kept hitting the board. Just hit the numbers. Just bring me numbers. because this is absolutely, I don't know what could have happened last night to make sports radio easier than making Stephen A. Smith give you commentary from his bed, yelling and snorting because he's so mad at the New York Knicks. And just people I don't think totally understand how much this city cares about this team because, Stugotz, there's been a generation of people who don't know what it's like for the Knicks to be relevant,
right.
And so they don't remember what the fan base, what your daddy's fan base or your granddaddy's fan base, they don't remember what it was back before the Knicks were a laughingstock.
Here's the thing with New York. You could talk about the Jets and the Giants. You could talk about the Rangers and the Mets. You could talk about the Islanders. You could talk about some of these other teams. At its core, New York is a basketball town. It's a Knicks town. It's a Rangers town because those two teams play right in the middle of Manhattan. And the fans love those two teams, but especially the Knicks. We have two football teams to choose from. We have two hockey teams we could choose from. We are saddled with one basketball team. And it's the Knicks. And they haven't been good in a long, long time, and now they're decent.
It is very hard for me to explain to the audience how much this fan base cares about this team. You'd have no reason to understand that if you were 20 years old. You just would not understand what got grandfathered in that city because of exactly what Stugotz is saying. No, this team plays in the middle of the city.
Yeah.
This team you can get to through public transportation. This is our team. This isn't the Jets out there. This isn't something in New Jersey.
Right.
This isn't something I have to go outside. No, this is the city. This is in the heart of the town.
Yes.
And this is why they get so mad at James Dolan for ruining this sacred thing for them. The celebrities don't go to all the other games. They don't go to all the other teams. This is the game they go to.
Football, you have a choice. Hockey, you have a choice. Baseball, you have a choice. In New York, you have no choice with basketball. It's the Knicks. That's it, period. We all come together for this one thing, and that one thing continues to disappoint us.
So the Nets are
No one cares. No one cares.
They literally have a choice, though.
But it's Brooklyn.
No one's choosing the Nets.
It's Brooklyn.
Except
Not
Kevin
really.
Durant.
Nobody said that about the Dodgers.
They don't really have a choice.
You don't have a choice. Kevin Durant, wrong choice. I mean,
The Nets have been in that town.
The Nets?
The Nets have been in that town, the Clippers, what the Clippers are to the Lakers.
Yeah.
Even though there have been times that they have had the better team.
they made back-to-back NBA Finals.
That's correct.
With Jason Kidd and
But
Kerry Kittle.
No, this. I'm not sure how much there is quite like this, Stugotz, honestly, where you've got the loudest and the biggest city, and you've got their biggest affection with a sports team, and it's cross-cultural, and it's a lot of people from a melting pot city who care about this thing. And I
Yes.
would say they've had plenty of heartbreak over the years, but this was a top 5 loss for them.
Oh, easily.
Of all time.
Yeah.
And they've had some on that list. Before we
I'm
go,
putting together a list, Dan. There are so many losses to sift through. I will get to it at some point today, okay?
yes, good. Top 5 most heartbreaking losses. Taylor did ruin everything, and that was perfect, as his Knicks fandom went by train for 28 hours to be at one of the great heartbreak losses in franchise history.
I do think, though, like, the Knicks are still in it. Like, they haven't, like...
No,
They're up 3-2.
No, put it
doesn't feel like that
no,
today.
Put it on the poll. Put it on the poll.
Feels like we lost everything.
Put it on the poll. Are the Knicks down 3-2?
If they win the series, I think the sting of this loss wears away a little bit.
Of
though.
course.
Yeah.
You're
yes.
saying it's like one of the worst of all time.
Oh,
I think
of
it will
course.
depend
You're
on
right.
the context.
You're
In
right.
the moment, right
Today.
now, it feels terrible.
You're absolutely right. It's today.
Yes.
There is no disputing what you're saying. Check with me in a couple of games and it can be forgotten. But today, this is as bad. What I'm saying is that right now, this is what I'm saying.
What are you saying?
It's the first time in the history of doing this that the feeling I have had while doing something live, visited by a top 5 worst New York moment. I've never been given that gift.
I've never felt being up 3-2 in a series like I'm down 3-2. Thank you, Charlotte.
Yeah, well, Dan said it, but,
Yeah.
you know...
I don't think we're still in it, though.
But you,
I mean,
I don't know.
All right, well put. Appreciate
I mean,
her
I'd rather win
eloquence.
the series in Philadelphia, to be honest with you. That would be great because I'm tired of them, their fan base, the whole team, the organization. I can't stand them. I can't stand any of them. Nick Nurse, enough. Complains about every single call. Those guys limping around, complaining. I've got a headache. I've got this. My leg hurts. Maxey faking injuries. Then going out fourth quarter, having the greatest fourth quarter that the Mecca has
How
ever
about that
seen.
foul on Brunson by Embiid? I mean, that's why he's public enemy number 1 in New York, right?
It's just,
the shoulder.
Embiid's got a
No, the
headache.
face.
You know what? I mean, my
Claw.
back hurt yesterday. I came to work. I mean, give
His
me
face
a break.
is paralyzed.
I don't want to hear about it.
Jessica, you made a bit of a rookie mistake, and I understand how it gets made because you haven't seen this particular Stugotz.
It's only half his face. I mean,
he had the riff going where he was like, Sixers, I'm tired of get your leg out of here. He had
Sounded like he was petering out.
he had the
I was
music.
just getting going, man.
He had the music working. I understand. Yes, your history with him suggests 3 years of
Those are the
petering out
heaters,
there.
yeah.
3 years of heaters. But this Stugotz, my partner, enlivened by a sports
we're
team,
having sex, baby.
and Joe Mauer, yes, like this is the best version
What?
of him. That's what?
No, you are.
Yeah.
Feels
good.
Stugotz on a heater instead of ravaged by sickness because of his heaters. We want to stand back in awe and have him hammer the Philadelphia 76ers again and again for being fakers who limp around until the fourth quarter when it's time to make all the shots.
Did you finish?
I'm made deeply uncomfortable by everything that happened.
He's still
there.
going.
You still smell like cigarettes. You always bring the cigarette smell into the bedroom.
Mid-sex cigarette.
You were shirtless.
Yeah, I found Stu wandering. I'm going to change the
sorry,
story. He was
Charlotte.
wandering throughout the parking lot muttering, the Knicks, the Knicks, the Knicks, without a shirt
Well,
on.
I'm telling you, this is the thing, right? Because Stugotz is not that self-aware. There are more heaters this morning and a general slovenly shirt situation because of the stress of that loss last night.
Yeah.
It's tough to sleep.
Yeah.
You sleep with your fists clenched.
I called Taylor.
You called him?
Yes.
To like just wallow?
I needed someone to talk to.
So you called him in New
Dan,
York at 11 p.m.
I was crazed last night. Midway through the third quarter, I'm telling Abby, Maxie, problem. Maxie, big problem. He's getting hot. Big problem. When he gets this hot, and then he missed a shot. And I'm like, oh, he missed a shot. We needed that miss. But then he made the next 7 after that. And I was going, Maxie, problem. Maxie, problem. My wife said, relax, you're going to win the game. I said, Abby, you don't know this team. We're going to lose the game. I think in all the time we've been married, they've never been this relevant. They've never been this good. They're going to lose this game. She said, you're jinxing them. I said, I'm not jinxing them. Then they lost the game. And Abby goes, you know your Knicks. She was impressed with me.
That is impressive.
No sex.
That right there, that is really showing off. The only time I've ever felt like that, I've told you this story. It's a great story. It's a great story. My grandfather at that point, technology eluded him some, and there was a time where I asked him to answer a cell phone, and I walked in on him answering the television remote control. So he was much older in life, but as a Cuban exile, he had no capacity to understand how it is that I could make money having sports opinions. He's from Cuba.
Right.
He doesn't speak English. And he's like, how does my grandson have sports opinions that they pay him for? How is that a thing that exists in this country? And he's got a game on at night, and it's ESPN Classic. But he doesn't know it's ESPN Classic. This is a famous game. And Mark Wohlers is throwing against Jim Leyritz. And I walk past the television, and I'm like, Grandpa, the way he's been pitched here, Leyritz is going to pull the ball. It's going to be a home run. He doesn't normally hit home runs in this spot, but this is going to be an enormous home run in the next pitch. Because I saw it 20 years ago. And he just, like, was dizzy. Like, oh, that's why they pay him. He's amazing. He knows what's going to happen off in the future.
Before it happens.
Do you understand that on WFAT, Stugotz knew exactly what was going to happen last night? Stugotz on the call would have said, Maxie's going to run up here and break my heart. He's going to take a shot from half court.
Yep. I told Abby.
I do that with my daughter at a red light sometimes. I'll be like,
it's going to turn green.
I'm going to use my magic powers here. No, but not just that it's going to turn green, when it's going to turn green. Because, hey, I keep track of the little flashing stop thing. I see it's yellow over here.
Really?
I'm like, all right, Daddy's going to get his magic hand ready. And now, and then it turns green. Man, is she impressed every time.
The first time, I'm sure you got it wrong. And it was just like
There's
the
that
blinker.
slight
It was
delay
the
sometimes.
blinker.
Forgot about the Turner signal.
Such a good memory. I mean, my grandfather was talking about that for years afterward. He would tell people that I knew when that was going to happen.
Really? He was bragging?
Yeah. I made him proud by,
Dan called the Leyritz home run before.
by lying to an old man.
Old people and toddlers. You can get them.
Put it on the poll, please. Juju, who's easier to get? Old people or toddlers? We disgrace The Rock. Next.
What?
Dan wouldn't understand this. He's busy running a content circus. But if you're actually running a business, then you know. Hiring the right people isn't just important, it's everything. And that's why LinkedIn Jobs is an absolute game changer for small business owners. You're juggling payroll, logistics, maybe even mopping the floors before you open. You don't have time for flaky resumes, ghosted interviews, or job boards that feel like a black hole. When it's time to hire, you need a partner who grinds just like you. LinkedIn? They don't sleep. You clock out, they clock in. They'll help you write the job post quickly and clearly. Promote it, you'll get 3 times more qualified applicants. Not a guess, real data. And once it's live, LinkedIn helps you amplify it by sharing it with your network. You can even add that hashtag hiring frame to your profile, which doubles the number of qualified candidates you're likely to see. This is built for business owners who care about getting it right. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/DLS. That's linkedin.com/DLS to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply.